How can you argue that racism is not a driving factor in income inequality?
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. And when you have a culture that doesn't... You know what? Explain to me. You explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
So what do I think those riots are? I think the depravity, I think they're thugs, and I think if you really want to make a difference, Thurgood Marshall, who grew up just 2 blocks from there, did such a thing, who was a contemporary of Martin Luther King.
Now I'd like to skip over to Dr. Seacrest.
I look at the Baltimore uprisings as more than just riots, right? I hate the idea when you say thugs and riots, right? White people riot as well. When y'all win Super Bowls 2 years in a row, y'all get off the hook. Don't make it seem like it's just Baltimore getting upset. So my 30-second answer is I feel the frustration of what's happening in the community, and I think it's a symptom. The uprisings are a symptom of a pressure that's been unaddressed for too long.
Ben.
I'm offended by the language of uprising applied to people who are breaking into other black people's stores and looting them. This is a lack of values. And people who are destroying private property, destroying cop cars, in an uprising against what exactly? Against the black police chief, against a mostly minority police force, against the black mayor, against the black president, against the black attorney general, against against a city council that is 9 of 15 are black and all 15 are elected Democrats. What is the uprising against? What is it seeking to achieve? I still don't see what exactly the riots are seeking to achieve. Bottom line is, this is all, it all could be boiled down to just act like a mensch. Act like a human being. Honestly, it's not useful to riot, it's not useful to break things, it's not useful to throw rocks at people. And the idea that we're supposed to sort of correlate
let's
your
hold
level
off
of
on
outrage.
the idea. I'm going to stick to the 30 seconds on
yeah,
this
the last
one. Charles?
sentence. The last sentence.
Yeah.
The idea that we're supposed to correlate your level of outrage with a certain level of justification. In other words, the more outraged you are and the more angry you are, the more justified you must be, is absolute nonsense.
Then, since the issue of disparity has come up a number of times, when does disparity not indicate racism?
Level of effort.
Statistical disparity. For example, overwhelmingly men commit crimes more than women, but we don't say that the Justice Department is sexist. So, is there a line that you draw for yourself, or is there some way that you interpret statistical disparity and you determine that that is not a racial disparity, it's something else? Well, we can return to it. That's okay too. Ben, do you want to?
Yes. It's called evidence of racism. When there is no evidence of racism, it's probably not racism. When there is actual evidence of racism, it's probably racism. And the fact that everybody jumps from there's inequality and therefore there is inequity, just because there's inequality does not mean there was inequity.
But there has to be racism. You can't say there's no racism.
Without evidence?
No. I'm just saying that I don't know which animal. Maybe we're talking about dogs or something. I'm talking about human beings, and I'm like, human beings are most likely going to have racial prejudices. I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I don't know. I come from planet Earth.
Charles, I want to ask you a question. So your default is that when there is no evidence, racism is the deciding factor. That is
No, I was not saying that. I'm just saying that you're going to have sexists, you're going to have racists, you're going to have all this stuff. I mean, I'm just saying that...
I agree it exists, but the problem that I'm seeing, and this is the problem with the general conversation, is that there's no solution in simply saying there's racism out there. How does that solve anything? I mean, when you talk about there's institutional racism, what does that mean? Show me a law that is racist in intent, and we will agree. Show me a police officer who commits a racist act like we saw in South Carolina, right, where a police officer shot a black man running away and it was obviously unjustified, and I will agree. But the idea that you can craft a narrative based on no racism because it just must be somewhere out there in the ether, that doesn't solve problems for anybody and creates more problems for people, because now they grow up in a milieu and an environment where they are told that every obstacle they face is from some shadowy, nameless, faceless group who's out to get them simply because of the color of their skin. They'll never succeed in that environment.
Well, it's a tweet from Black Lives Matter co-founder Yusra Kogali that has raised eyebrows and concern. It reads, quote, "Please, Allah, give me strength not to cuss/kill these men and white folks."
Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here.
This is Kogali confronting the premier yesterday when Kathleen Wynne addressed Black Lives Matter's protesters at Queen's Park. Wynne promised to meet with the group to discuss its concerns about police and the SIU. As for Kogali's tweet, I spoke with Sandy Hudson from Black Lives Matter earlier tonight.
This is extremely frustrating and emotional for me because we slept outside for 2 weeks to get somebody to care about death in our community. And this is what you decide to focus on.
No, we focused on everything else that has gone on with the Black Lives Matter, but this is part of the whole story, though.
Has there been a story yet on Pierre Bonny?
Has there been stories on Black Lives Matter? We've been live there almost every day.
That is a public interest story about another black life taken by police in Montreal. I am going to be talking about what is in the public interest with respect to black death in my community.
So are there any plans to apologize for the tweet?
Premier Kathleen Wynne has committed to having a public conversation with us. And what would be really wonderful, is if media would talk to her about what those plans are going to be. She is the premier. She's accountable to the people. The SIU has not been accountable to the people, and that's what you should be focusing on.
Now, Sandy Hudson went on for several more minutes, but refused to actually comment on the tweet from Yusra Kogali.
Black lives matter. 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 Do you not? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Do you think Black lives matter? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Now, do you think Black lives matter? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Sir, the court believes you represent a danger to the community. This appears not to be an isolated incident. The court notes the strength of the case against you. The court also notes that a police officer had a shot taken from him, most likely from the vehicle you were in, where there were 2 guns found, where shortly thereafter you bailed out of that car. And
Your Honor,
don't interrupt me, sir. Sir, don't interrupt me.
Hold on.
And they found you with a gun holster on, hiding in water under someone's dock. Yes, the court does believe you represent a danger not only to the people of the community who own homes, who own vehicles, but the court also notes that a police officer had a shot taken at him. So, anything you want to add, Mr. Miller?
Yes, my reading of the probable cause affidavit never places Mr. Clark inside the car.
Okay. Running from the area where the car was. And the co-defendant Wesley admits that Clark was there with everyone else to burglarize the vehicles in the area.
Okay, so the guns are found in the car. Mr. Clark is never connected with the car. Again, how are we connecting him with the shot being fired?
Sir, I'm going to say
shots are being fired, and he's running from the scene because shots are being fired.
Right. And he's got a holster.
In light of what's happening
Got it.
Your Honor,
sir,
in light of what's happening in this country, with unarmed black men being killed by police,
don't hand me that.
From shots being fired.
Don't even go down that road. I'm not going to let you go down that road. That is so off base. We've got a young man. I don't care what color he is. He's in a neighborhood he doesn't live in at 1:41 in the morning, hiding on under somebody's dock in the water with a holster on after a police officer had a shot taken at him. Don't hand me this He's a black man running from police brutality. Look, that is not appropriate in this case. That's not there. I'm not going to let you poison this case with bringing in something that has nothing to do with it. Your bond's $100,000 on count 3 and $100,000 on count 4. Thank you. Now, Donnie Heath, I got to take a break. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right, I want to move on to Tyrus. What is your favorite story or your pick?
I went with Black Lives Matter. And honestly, I made a shirt because that's what I do in my free time when I'm not fishing.
Yeah.
My life matters with a big brain.
Yeah, that's
because what it basically comes down to is compliance and resistance. And if you look at, I would say 99% of all the video stuff that you've seen, where you've seen police brutality and things like that, it's during what? Non-compliance.
Right.
And what that simply means, I'm 6'8", 390 business pounds.
Yeah.
I'm light-skinned. I have a beard. I listen to music loud. When I get pulled over, it's never fun.
Yeah.
It sucks for me.
Yeah.
Because the cop gets out and goes, huh, because he'll see this sitting there.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to go, huh. Because he doesn't know.
Right.
There's a giant tattoo, and he has to investigate to see who I am and what I'm about.
Yeah.
Hands are on the steering wheel. I ask to do everything. If he asks me to get out of the car, I get out of the car.
Right.
That's compliance.
Yeah.
In all these cases, they're not. It's simple.
It must be great when you get out of the car.
Oh, it's awesome. For him.
Yes.
Because he does, and it's not this, it's.
Yes.
And I do this amazing thing because then I go, what would you like to do, officer? You know, but I'm being compliant. Do I like it?
Yeah.
No. But it's not, he's the officer, he's the police.
Right.
He's the law. He has the right to investigate. When I'm compliant, nothing bad's going to happen to me. It's not my moment to resist arrest, and when everyone videotapes me resisting arrest and being taken down, that's where bad things happen. That doesn't make me Rosa Parks.
Right.
That makes me a criminal. And it has nothing to do with color. And I just want to make one thing that really bothered me. Like last night I talked to several, I wanted some more information because I'm on one side of it. I'm not a police officer.
Right.
So I actually had a chance to talk to a few of police officers. And the number one thing they all said, none of them knew each other and they were different colors and origins, whatever, said the same thing. Black Lives Matter is an insult to every guy who puts on a badge and runs to those bullets being fired in those neighborhoods. And these are high crime areas.
Yeah.
These are things that are happening. They're in a war.
Yeah.
Every day. So my argument or my challenge would be to Black lives leaders, which is not many of them. I mean, even the Johnny-come-lately like Jesse Jackson didn't get involved. You know it's bad when Jesse Jackson, who's never wanted a free lunch in his life, not going to come to something. For them to be cops for a week.
Yeah.
For them to roll around these neighborhoods and see what they go through.
Yeah.
Because it's not okay. The resistance and the videotape, our system is designed for us. So if you're arresting me and you're rough with me and it's on video, I go through the proper channels, I will sue you.
Yes.
You won't have your job anymore.
That is true.
But me fighting you back and picking that moment to be, and most people that are resistant is because they have something to hide.
Threatening to kill white people and police faced a judge, and we are learning about a demonstration outside right before it happened. In the past 90 minutes, the judge in this case delivered a passionate message to that defendant, and Channel 2's Tom Jones was in court for that confrontation and heard what the judge said. Tom?
First of all, the judge found probable cause to move charges against Latasha Ned forward. After that, she made an impassioned speech saying more violence to protest violence gets us nowhere.
Hashtag. How you feel when you be the hashtag? Hashtag. How you feel when you be the hashtag?
And that was the scene outside the Clayton County Courthouse as Latasha Ned went before Judge Dallas on charges including terroristic threats and criminal solicitation. Police say they arrested Ned after seeing videos of her online with a gun and a machete advocating bringing harm to whites and police officers. Ned's attorney told the judge his client was defending herself from someone who had threatened her and she was exercising her rights to free speech. In the end, Judge Dallas said Ned's language was inciting and was more than an expression of free speech.
You show two police officers and say it's open season on killing cracker cops. Does that fix the problems that we have in this country? Or does it add to the problems that we have in this country?
that.
What do you want?
We got to stop
What
listening
is
to
it that
this
you
rhetoric
want?
that's in the media.
Michelle, what do you people want?
What do I want?
Michelle,
When you say you people, what do you mean?
the complaining black people blaming others for the failure of their parents and their lives, blaming others for whatever it is you complain about. What is it exactly do you want from white people?
First of all, I'm just going to take a breath. And
I'm trying to find out what you want.
What's your nationality?
American.
Are you white?
I'm black American.
Oh, okay.
What do you want? Oh, you do? And why do you think that? Why do you think
that? Because you seem to separate yourself from us, should I say?
In
Put
what
us on
way?
the other side
In what
of the
way?
fence. In the ways that you've specified thus far.
Meaning what? Tell me. Give me an example and tell me what you mean.
How you mean? What do you people want from white people? Meaning that I'm not with you.
Oh, okay. I got
It's just y'all by yourself, right?
Let me explain why I do that. What you don't know is that there are two realities in life. One is that of good and one is that of evil. And now that I've been able to overcome evil, I don't identify with angry, evil black people. I identify with other blacks and others who are on the side of good. And so that's why I say you people, because I have to divide myself or separate myself from evil and go along with good. So that's why I do that.
What is it that makes us evil?
I'm sorry, your anger, your blaming others for your problems, your lack of love and respect for yourself and others.
Okay.
Thanks very much.